Let's jump right in. If you've been sitting on the sidelines, scrolling through your feed, and just assuming that the so-called golden age of YouTube is completely over, thinking the ship has sailed and the market is utterly impenetrable, well, I need you to totally reset your expectations right now. What we're doing today is walking through an absolute masterclass. Think of this explainer as your ultimate, data-backed roadmap to completely conquering YouTube in 2026. We are breaking down a proven strategy from a creator who literally cracked the code. We're not just skimming the surface here, guys. We're going to take all that raw data, strategy, and insider knowledge and transform it into a highly actionable step-by-step blueprint that you can start using today. So let's get into it. So the number that is just truly staggering here is 13. Our source creator completely shattered this exhausted myth that YouTube success means years of miserable grinding and total obscurity, just posting to an audience of 0. Actually, scratch that. It took them exactly 1 month to hit full monetization. 2 months to hit 10,000 subscribers, and it took exactly 13 videos to secure a silver play button. Just 13. I mean, think about the emotional weight of that. Most creators spend years burning themselves out trying to get a fraction of that traction. But by sticking to a really clear, structured roadmap, they were pulling in solid AdSense revenue and landing massive brand sponsorships almost immediately. It mathematically proves that with the right framework, exponential growth isn't a lottery ticket. It's a highly engineered outcome. And honestly, this is exactly why 2026 is genuinely the absolute best time to start. Look, a lot of aspiring creators freeze up, right? They're terrified the market is totally saturated. But let's look at the reality. We're talking about 2.5 billion monthly active users globally. Just look at that massive surge to 500 million users in India alone. That's a seismic shift in global content consumption, and it's right there for you to tap into. That is not saturation. That is abundant, overwhelming opportunity. And the best part? Unlike some random dance trend on TikTok that vanishes before you even learn the moves, YouTube's algorithm is an evergreen passive income engine. A highly optimized, valuable piece of content you drop today could literally still be pulling in views and money 10 years from now, as long as people are searching for it. Section 1. The 3P Niche Rule. Find your perfect fit. So let's talk about the very first foundational step of this whole roadmap. Before you even think about picking up a camera, you have to nail down exactly what your channel is about, and you need a concrete framework to do it. Think of YouTube like a premium cable network. If you tune into ESPN for the playoffs, you expect high-stakes sports, right? If they suddenly cut to a 45-minute tutorial on baking sourdough bread, you'd change the channel, and you probably wouldn't trust them again. Well, the YouTube algorithm works the exact same way. Without a strictly defined niche, the algorithm literally has no idea how to categorize you, which makes finding your audience and growing basically impossible. So to solve that, we use what's called the 3P rule to guarantee long-term sustainability and actual profitability. Basically, you want to visualize these 3 steps as a mental Venn diagram. First up is passion. You need a strong, genuine interest in your topic, or trust me, you are going to hit creator burnout fast. Second is proficiency. Now, you don't need a PhD or to be the world's foremost expert, but you do need enough basic knowledge to offer real value and effortlessly come up with ideas. And third is profit. Now, this doesn't just mean ad revenue. It means verifying if the total addressable audience is actually large enough to support your long-term growth. Let's imagine a channel built around retro video games. The creator loves playing them, that's passion. They know enough to review the hardware, that's proficiency. And there is this huge nostalgia-driven audience actively searching for this stuff, so that's the profit potential. You should absolutely only start a channel that sits perfectly in the intersection of these 3 Ps. Section 2, cracking the algorithm. Let's master those video signals. Okay, so once you've got that perfect niche locked in, we really have to talk about the machine running the show. Now, please do not let internet gurus scare you into thinking the 2026 algorithm is some totally mystical black box that keeps wildly changing. Sure, the micro details shift around, but the foundational rules, they are completely evergreen. The algorithm literally has one singular job: keep people on the platform as long as humanly possible so YouTube can show them more ads. To do that, it processes billions of data points. But as a creator, you really only need to care about 3 core video signals. Think of them as a funnel. First, they actually have to click. That's click-through rate, or CTR. Out of 100 people who saw your thumbnail, how many actually took the bait? Once they're in, how deep do they go before they click away? That's average view duration, or AVD. And overall, how much of their actual life are they spending on your channel? That's your total watch time. Master this funnel, and the algorithm will heavily push your content. So, the million-dollar question, how exactly do you get those metrics high? Well, you absolutely have to study your market. The source material highlights this fantastic grounding quote. Winners don't do different things, they do things differently. You really don't need to reinvent the wheel to succeed here. Honestly, trying to be 100% original from day one is usually a trap. The proven strategy is to set up a completely separate viewer-only YouTube account, a burner account just for research. You subscribe only to the top creators in your newly defined niche, and you spend a solid week just wildly consuming content on that account. What this does is perfectly train the algorithm to show you exactly what your target audience is actively watching right now. Look at the specific words they use in titles, analyze the pacing of their edits, see what topics are blowing up. Then, you just take those proven concepts that the market is already begging for, and you inject your own unique angle, your fresh perspective, and your distinct personality.
Section 3. The Viral Video Formula. How to engineer your success.
All right, so you've got your niche and you understand the algorithm. Let's dive right into the actual mechanics of engineering outlier success. You need to treat this simple equation as your strict blueprint. Honestly, it is the ultimate cheat code for the YouTube algorithm. Idea plus packaging plus intro equals viral video. People love to overcomplicate YouTube growth, obsessing over expensive camera gear and getting the tags just right. But if you master these three variables, you can basically engineer virality on demand. It turns into a science, not a gamble. So let's break down the absolute most crucial part of this whole equation, the idea.
To find an idea that's truly viral, we use something called the outlier method. Let me paint a picture for you. If a massive, established channel with millions of subs drops a video and gets 1 million views, that doesn't actually mean the idea was great. I mean, they could literally post a video of paint drying, and their highly loyal audience would still watch it just out of habit. But if a tiny, unknown channel that usually scrapes together maybe 500 views suddenly drops something that organically skyrockets to 100,000 views, that is a massive outlier. It mathematically proves that the idea itself is inherently viral and aggressively clickable, totally independent of the creator's face value or their subscriber count. And that right there is the golden idea you want to emulate. The contrast here is super critical for your game plan. Notice how average videos rely almost entirely on an existing, warm subscriber base. As a brand new creator launching in 2026, you simply do not have that luxury. You're starting at absolute zero. Because of that, your success relies 100% on producing outlier videos, concepts so incredibly strong and universally appealing that the algorithm is quite literally forced to push them to a massive, cold audience. And you shouldn't just be guessing what these ideas are. You can use free browser extensions like vidIQ or TubeBuddy to actively hunt for these wildly high-performing outlier concepts in your specific niche before you ever even think about hitting the record button.
Okay, moving to the second critical part of our formula, packaging. This is all about the synergy between your title and your thumbnail. Think about it. If your packaging is bad, nobody clicks, and the absolute best, most highly produced video in the world just dies in total obscurity. Your ultimate goal here is to create irresistible curiosity. You want to build a curiosity gap, that unavoidable itch in the brain that a viewer just has to scratch by clicking. A truly great title will often directly contradict common assumptions. For example, a bad title is History of Commercial Airplanes. A phenomenal title is What Everyone Gets Completely Wrong About Airplanes. See the difference? And your thumbnail has to work closely with that title to build intense visual curiosity. It shouldn't just lazily repeat the text. It needs to introduce some bizarre element or a striking visual question that can absolutely only be resolved by clicking and watching.
Finally, we get to the third part of the formula, the intro. Huge congrats, you engineered a brilliant idea and you got the click. But listen, the first 30 seconds of your content will completely dictate your average view duration. Let's walk through this 30-second timeline. Please, do not start with a loud, outdated 15-second dubstep logo animation. And definitely don't launch into some boring, "Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, hit that subscribe button" speech. That instantly kills your retention. Instead, in the first 10 seconds, immediately state the viewer's goal. Validate that they clicked on the right video. By 20 seconds, introduce the fear, the struggle, or the central problem standing in their way. This brilliantly builds sudden emotional investment. And right at the 30-second mark, definitively present that you have the unique promised solution. This precise scripting formula hooks them immediately, satisfies their brain's expectations, and drastically stops them from bouncing over to someone else's content.
Section 4, your success story. Taking action today.
So, we've covered the high-level theory, the inner workings of the algorithm, and the exact viral formula. Let's shift to the final and undoubtedly most important step, taking real action and totally bypassing the crippling perfectionism that kills like 99% of channels before they even upload once. The most dangerous trap for beginners is wanting their very first upload to be this flawless cinematic masterpiece. To mentally bypass this, you start a practice channel. Step 1, make an alternate channel where you feel absolutely zero pressure. Step 2, use an AI like ChatGPT to quickly generate 10 to 15 ideas in your niche.
Step 3, for 30 days, focus purely on unadulterated quantity over quality. Do not even look at the views. Honestly, nobody is actually supposed to see these early uploads. Just think of them as your personal digital scratch pads. The emotional relief of doing this is massive. Your only goal right now is pure skill building. You're just learning how to structure a script, how to talk into a mic without feeling weird, and how to use basic editing software. After a month of consistent, low-stakes practice, you'll actually have the tangible skills to launch your main channel with total confidence. Will you now possess the exact unvarnished roadmap used to aggressively hit a silver play button in just 13 videos? You know the 3P rule for meticulously finding that perfect niche, you understand the algorithm's vital signals to keep people hooked, and you have the ultimate cheat code formula of idea plus packaging plus intro. The 2026 YouTube landscape is absolutely not some impenetrable, saturated wall. It is a booming, evergreen frontier filled with 2.5 billion active monthly users who are desperately eager for great content. So I'm going to leave you with this final provocative thought. The audience is waiting. You have the blueprint. What will your first video be about?